The moment you understand what is hunting humanity, it understands you back. And once it sees you, it can follow the idea into every mind connected to yours. So how do you defeat an enemy that can find you through a thought and make the whole world forget there was ever a war? This is the full spoiler story of qntm's There Is No Antimemetics Division. Its monsters are antimemes, ideas and creatures that prevent themselves from being noticed, remembered, or recorded. One could stand beside you, take something essential from your life, and leave behind only a gap you would never think to question. The unknown organization contains impossible phenomena. Marie Quinn directs its Antimemetics Division, a department so difficult to remember that Senior Director Malo repeatedly decides it must be fraudulent. Marie proves otherwise by exposing the thing posing as his assistant. It was in the room the entire time. Malo simply could not retain the fact that he had seen it. The story's main stage is Wyeleigh, a sprawling research campus hidden in a forest in western England, with low buildings above a much larger underground complex. There, junior researcher Simon Lee believes he is having an exhausting first day. During lunch, a stranger named Adrian Gage begins asking innocent questions. Each answer disappears from Simon's mind. Languages, education, even his home are being eaten in front of him. Simon survives because his habits remain after the memories vanish. He knows enough to run, warn his instructor, and resist. Division staff rely on mnestic drugs, chemicals that make hidden things easier to perceive and memories harder to erase. Stronger classes can recover years, sharpen the mind, or briefly make forgetting impossible. They can also destroy the brain, reverse the body through its own history, or kill the user. In this war, remembering is both the weapon and the wound. Marie turns to Andrew Hilton, the division's elderly founder. He once promised that, near death, he would surrender the memories buried inside him. Marie gives him a lethal mnestic that makes his body younger as his past becomes vivid. Hilton remembers the unthinkables, a wartime research unit that built bombs capable of erasing ideas, and every memory of the people who built them. The gaps reveal a pattern. The unthinkables became an earlier Antimemetics Division. It encountered something Hilton calls the escape, then destroyed its own continuity to stop the knowledge from spreading. A later division formed, found the same ruins, and repeated the cycle. Humanity has not failed to notice the war once. It has discovered, fought, and deliberately forgotten it again and again. Hilton explains the escapee's worst property, mutual awareness. If a mind forms a true picture of the entity forms a picture of that mind. Even their conversation is dangerous. Something begins forcing itself through Hilton's body. Marie kills him, doses herself with an amnestic, and dives from the boat. Forgetting saves her, but it also destroys the warning he died to give. Back at Wyeleigh, Marie reconstructs the lost day from objects, injuries, and the reactions of people around her. The division's history looks the same. Missing staff, missing years, sealed rooms no one remembers building, and a vast memorial behind the facility for casualties no archive can name. The enemy is not hiding inside the evidence. The missing evidence is its silhouette. Then a stranger enters Marie's home and claims to be her husband. His name is Adam Quinn, a concert violinist whose unusual mind naturally resists some antimemetic effects. Photographs, records, colleagues, and intimate details all confirm the marriage. Marie has not caught him lying. She has erased an entire life with him from herself, and left Adam carrying both sides of the loss. Adam first entered this world through an unknown that stole fingers and the knowledge attached to them. Marie saved him. Another antimeme, a soft guiding presence they call Sunshine, can feed on memories and remove selected connections. That makes Sunshine dangerous, but also precise. Marie realizes that remembering Adam would give the escapee a path to him, so she asks Sunshine to take the marriage again. For Adam, the choice is brutal. The person he loves will look through him as if they never met. For Marie, it is worse in a different way. She must trust a decision she will no longer understand. Their marriage becomes a controlled absence, proof stored outside her conscious mind. At first it seems like a personal tragedy beside a cosmic war. It is actually the shape of the solution. Every 63 days, Marie must enter a sealed containment unit for an unknown numbered U3125. Inside, she discovers that the cell does not contain the entity. It contains the only space from which the entity is excluded. The walls are covered with notes. A recording made by an earlier Marie explains that this is her war room, built so each new version of herself can rediscover the truth safely. U3125 is not one creature standing in one place. It is an information predator distributed through culture, memory, and shared ideas. Its manifestations look different because the visible bodies are only projections. The real thing lives at the level of meaning. Anyone who recognizes the pattern becomes visible to it, along with friends, colleagues, and every mind close enough to share the realization. The recordings show that the division has been shrinking for years. Operatives disappear, and then their co-workers forget there was ever an empty desk. U3125 attacks the network of people capable of understanding it, removing humanity's defenses faster than anyone can count the dead. The present division is not an army preparing for war. It is the forgotten remainder of an army already being erased. Earlier versions of Marie leave one possible route to victory. Researcher Ed Hicks designed an Irreality Amplifier, not a gun, but a machine capable of making one idea large and real enough to oppose another. If the division can create the right countermeme, the amplifier might challenge U3125 on its own level. Hicks disappears to build it in secret. The enemy moves first. U3125 breaches Wyeleigh and turns people into extensions of itself. Friends become attackers. Familiar corridors lose their meaning between one step and the next. Marie takes a Class Y nestic, accepting catastrophic damage in exchange for perfect recall. Her mind begins recovering every discarded plan, every former version of the war, and every person the division was forced to forget. Even perfect memory cannot fully protect Marie. The attack keeps stripping away context, and she repeatedly believes she is arriving for her first day at work. But instinct, injury, and prepared clues push her downward. She remembers that the amplifier should be waiting in a deep vault. If she can reach it before her body fails, the division may still have one move left. The vault does not contain Hicks's amplifier. It contains the old memory bomb. Marie now understands the terrible design of the cycle. The bomb cannot kill U3125. It can only erase all living knowledge of the Antimemetics Division, cutting the paths the predator is using to reach the rest of the organization. It is not victory. It is an emergency amputation of history. With U3125 closing in and her mind collapsing, Marie detonates the bomb. The building remains, but the division disappears from human continuity. Staff, research, sacrifices, and the fact of the war become a blank space. Marie dies beside the machine. Outside the erased zone, humanity survives the moment, but loses the only institution that knew what was coming. Years pass. U3125 grows without organized resistance. Cities are sealed inside enormous stone sarcophagi that concentrate and feed its power. The sky is fixed around a red-black eye. Knowledge drains out of ordinary life. People can still move through the world, but the predator decides which ideas they are allowed to keep. Reality has become a prison built from missing thoughts. Adam continues playing violin until a concert changes around him. The orchestra, the hall, and the audience become something else while everyone behaves as if nothing happened. Adam notices. U3125, now pressing the name Va into his mind, tries to hollow him out. His unusual resistance is not immunity. He loses memories, fingers, and an unknowable stretch of time. But a thin inner light keeps leading him away. The light is sunshine, surviving as a trail through the ruins. Adam follows it across an emptied country to Wyeleigh, a facility the memory bomb still prevents him from perceiving. Sunshine guides him through the blind field and into rooms full of forgotten dead. At the center lies Marie's body. Her identification says they share a surname. Adam assumes it must be a coincidence. Sunshine releases the memories it once took from Marie. Adam watches a marriage he cannot feel as his own, meetings, ordinary affection, and the moment they agreed to erase him from her life. The evidence cannot force love back into his mind. What it gives him is a choice. He can treat the missing feeling as proof of manipulation, or trust that Marie created the gap for a reason. Adam chooses trust. In the protected war room, he finds Marie's final recording about Hicks and the Irreality Amplifier. A manifestation of Va follows him to the edge of the blind zone. Sunshine spends itself distracting the creature, and Adam destroys the projection. The guide that carried Marie's stolen memories dies, leaving Adam with directions to a man he has never met. At the ruins of Stanmore, Adam finds Ed Hicks alive. Hicks has spent years rebuilding the amplifier by repeatedly erasing his own failed approaches. The final device is only a physical anchor for an ideal machine in a realm of ideas. It works, but Hicks lacks the countermeme it must amplify. He expected Adam to carry that seed. Adam arrives apparently empty. Marie protected the idea in the one place Va and the organization would both overlook, the relationship she removed. Adam takes a lethal Class Z nestic to recover it. Memory returns with overwhelming force. Marie becomes present through everything he carries of her, not as a simple recording or ghost, but as a human idea reconstructed from trust, love, regret, and deliberate absence. Marie tells Adam the seed of the countermeme. Being free means living without fear of the universe. The amplifier opens onto eidetic space, where every human idea exists through its connections to others. There, U3125 has made every thought smaller, more fearful, and more obedient. Marie becomes wild light, an idea of radical freedom large enough to make the predator irrelevant. Marie does not overpower Va with a larger monster. She removes the fear and submission that let it define the meaning of every idea around it. Without that privileged position, U3125 loses its hold and vanishes. The sky clears. The world returns, not perfectly restored, but released from a reality in which one predator decided what humanity was permitted to know. The organization finds years of impossible gaps and begins building a new Scifi division to study the battlefield of thought. Other antimemes still exist, and the final pages refuse a clean promise that the danger is over. But the central war is won because Marie and Adam preserve something no archive can: trust strong enough to cross deliberate forgetting. The moment Marie understood the predator, it understood her back. So she stopped trying to keep the whole truth inside one vulnerable mind. She turned absence into a hiding place, love into a carrier, and freedom from fear into a weapon. That is how humanity wins a war nobody can remember. There is no Antimemetics Division by qntm.